welcome to Watch Us Cooking. Today we're going to make a delicious recipe called Marry Me Chicken that is so delicious that someone might actually marry you. We have so many ingredients today, like all the components in a marriage. First we have some spinach that you had to pick off all the leaves, onions. In our little herbery we have these green onions that are super thin and parsley, so I just chopped that up. Some garlic, skin on, bone off chicken thighs. We have to move to a whole different side, so that's a lot. Pasta water, but this is only if you need it. We have some butter, veggie stock, white wine, sweet paprika, smoked paprika, heavy cream, olive oil, salt, black pepper, sun-dried tomatoes, tomato paste, some lemon zest that I cubed, and your cooked linguine, whatever type of pasta you want best.
What sort of dried tomatoes are they? I can't see it.
I just dried tomatoes. They're already pre-cut. This is the only one we found in the supermarket. They're already pre-cut. But
cool.
You can also grab the whole ones. Let's get cooking. To season our chicken thighs, our favorite, smoked paprika. Never can go wrong. The sweet paprika. Salt. Some black pepper. Not too much or you'll be sneezing the whole day. You can optionally add some garlic, raw or dried, or like powder. So I'm gonna add a little bit, but you don't have to. And if you want, you can add a little olive oil, which I might do just so it's like a rub. So it kind of like binds together, but not too much, otherwise it becomes Mexican chicken. Now, mix that effortlessly and really well. Like, you have to make sure, always keep one hand dry, because if you notice that you need more spices, you don't have to remove your gloves or wash your hands and get a new pair. Like mine, I need some more of our favorite. And it's not going to be too strong because it's also going to help combine the flavors in the sauce, and I don't know, it just turned out really well. Trust the process. And mix that like your life depends on it. Okay, it's all red, so it's good. Let's start actually cooking it. Medium-high heat on the pan. We go in with a big cube of butter, and because it's still cold for your hands, just go and rubbing it in like so. But if it looks like too much, just like remove it. But if not, that's why you always keep a tea towel or like a towel next to you so you can just rub your hands. And a little olive oil, so it all binds well together. And swirl around. Or if you only have one side, just do your best. Always keep a lid on hand, otherwise the butter chicken video will happen again. If you want to know, watch that video. Now we need to wait for this butter to melt and heat up, then we'll put the chicken in. Okay, now all perfectly melted, use some tongs and kind of just release the skin so it can be full contact, and skin down always to make it nice and crunchy. If you need to, kind of be like Jenga or Tetris. Move it around, make it all fit in one pan so we do less work. You're going to want to like put a little bit of pressure on it Like, and make sure all the skin is down, just like that. One more. The reason we didn't put much olive oil is because we need it to form a nice crust. Now we need to let that be on the skin side down until there's like a crunchy crust.
How long does that take?
5 minutes or less. Because the portable stove is super strong, look at that crust. You can see it's like kind of like that. You don't want it too crispy, otherwise it might burn. So right now how it is about perfect. Now you're just gonna cook it on the other side just until it kind of like becomes like, you know, white. When it's cooked on the outside and on the inside, because we can't cook it too much internally, otherwise it will become dry. Because we're going to put it back in the sauce so it kind of like cooks in the sauce. And we also want to have like a nice like bottom on the pan, like a, I don't know the name.
Sauce.
Like a crust.
Okay.
Like where the pan gets dirty. Or at least it has the flavor from the butter and oil. Should look something like this. It can have a crust or it can just be like plain. And place on a separate plate. Like you can see it looks white on the outside. Then transfer it all and we'll get started on the sauce. Lower the heat down, but not off. So it's a low heat. You see all this on the bottom? That's what we want. 2 onions, roughly chopped in like roughly chopped into cubes. And we also go in with our minced garlic, about 5 to 6 cloves. Give that a good stir, and I remember the name. You see this fond? Start scraping it off, so that's extra seasoning and extra flavor. And this recipe is super flavorful, so we need to make sure we get all of it. Now we need to cook this down until it's like translucent, like you can see through it. Or another sign of it being translucent is when it's starting to brown, so it's translucent. There's a lot of smoke and it's mostly translucent. Should look something like this. Now I'm going to go in with some white wine. Now we need to let this reduce until it's all like, we need to let it cook.
Simmer.
Like simmer until there's no more liquid. Then we'll continue on from there. Okay, so it's been simmering and there's barely any liquid left, like only a tiny bit. So we're gonna add some of the sun-dried tomatoes. It's already cut, which is even better, so it's more practical. And we need to get a little of the oil because of flavor. Make sure to always seal it properly so it doesn't like go crazy. Mix that down super well. We need more items to do that. Cook this down for 2 more minutes. Nice and fragrant, so that's good. So it means time to go with a nice hefty spoon of tomato paste. We need some more. A big plop in the middle. We're also going to go in with the cube lemon zest to add some acidity and fresh flavor. And mix that down and let it cook for 30 seconds to a minute. Mixing constantly. Okay, now I've been mixing. I'm gonna add some of the veggie broth. Just enough to cover it all. Tad bit more. And let that simmer for 10 minutes or until the volume has like decreased by half. You lid it if you want. Just like so. It took about 4 minutes for mine to boil down. Shake up your heavy cream really well and look at this magic. Come close. I'm gonna add a little bit and then I'm gonna mix it. It smells amazing. See how it kind of looks like a stroganoff. More cream. And mix it to your desire. Okay, time for our spinach. Goes right in. So it has some time to like cook down. Make sure not to splash. And lid until your spinach has like cut in half, like in
Sure.
yes. That's all nice and welshed down. Give it a nice stir. Now let's taste it using a separate spoon to see if we need any more salt. Let's go. I'm gonna marry the spoon.
Marry me chicken, huh?
Yes. Need a tad bit of salt though. Okay, now it's up to par. I'm gonna add in our pasta. Quite a lot. So now we're going to just plop it in and mix it with the sauce. If you see that the sauce is not enough, add more cream and a little bit of tomato paste. And that's exactly what I'm gonna do. A little more sauce, stir some more creme, and I'll get the back of the tomato sauce. Tomato paste, about a nice spoonful, and that's maybe thumbs would be better because of the amount. You're just gonna want to go twisting it over and under, over and under, over and under, over. And twirl it. And yeah. Looks good. Now we'll shake it out. Put in the chicken. Skin down. Gonna make it into like a little flower, you know? Push it down so it can cook in that sauce. And then the lucky person will get the one in the middle. And a little more cream because cream can do no harm.
Tell that to your heart doctor.
And then we're gonna keep it like that until the chicken reads 75 degrees Celsius or higher. And even though you might say, oh, if it gets higher, it might get dry, we have all this sauce, so it cancels out the effects. Looks amazing, right? But we need to mix it sometimes Because you listen to this. Like, look. You can see there's like a little fond on the bottom starting to form, so make sure you mix so that doesn't happen. And before you go, let's check this. In the thick part, it's 60. This thick part, it's 70, which is nearly good. And it's 50, so still more time. Put back on the lid and make sure to keep stirring it occasionally, not all the time. Looks amazing, right? But we need to mix it sometimes, because you listen to this. Like, look. You can see there's like a little fond on the bottom starting to form, so make sure you mix so that doesn't happen. And before you go, let's check this. In the thick part, it's 60. This thick part, it's 70, which is nearly good. And it's 50, so still more time. Put back on the lid and make sure to keep stirring it occasionally, not all the time. Steam. Check the temperature. 87. Perfect. Parsley and those thin green onions we talked about at the start to make it healthy. Turn off the heat. And mix it as best as you can, even though it's super full. And let's keep the lid on to keep the warmth. And now we're gonna go and plate this up. Remind you, it measured 87 degrees Celsius. It needs to be 74 degrees Celsius to be cooked, but if it's higher, then it's completely safe to eat. It's so hot that even with the stove off, it's still like cooking or like boiling, simmering.
Well, the lid holds the heat in, yeah?
Yeah. So now we're gonna get some pasta. And we're just gonna like get your pasta, as much as pasta as you can. This might take a while.
Slippery stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, soup. Like when I grab it, it all slides off. Now, pasta is on the plate. We're gonna grab a nice piece of chicken. I think I'll get this one. Let's see if this one slides away too.
Could be a runner, huh?
Yes. Now, I like to use this because then it helps keep it down. Perfectly cooked, and in half again. There's this plating trick I like to use. So you can either use it with a knife or the tongs, but you're gonna place the chicken on one side. Like so. And then you're gonna try and place the next piece a little more in front, so it'll be like a space for each, so it kind of looks a bit better. But it'll all be the same in the end. So if you want to, plate whichever way you like. Now I'm going to tidy it up with some paper towel and tweezers, and then we'll be ready to eat. Favorite moment, taste test. Little piece of the chicken, pasta, and chicken. Let's go. I have 0 words. 0 words. It's flavorful, comforting. It tastes like a dish.
Someone would want to marry you.
Yes. Also tastes like a dish, like a comforting dish. It feels nostalgic. It feels like you've had this dish before, even though it's your first time. Absolutely amazing. Remember to like and subscribe, and thanks for watching today's video.